Good morning, students. Today's topic is IUFD, means intrauterine fetal death. What is IUFD? A baby delivered with no signs of life, known to have died after 24 completed weeks of pregnancy. IUFD refers to the babies with no signs of life in utero. There is no evidence of breath, cardiac pulsation or pulsation of the umbilical cord. It may occur either antenatally or during labor, and in antepartum from 24 weeks till onset of labor, because 24 weeks is taken as the period of viability, and intrapartum from onset of the labor till delivery, and these are fresh stillbirth. The babies which die during intrapartum period, they are known as called as stillbirth, and the incidence is about 1%. Pathology. What are the changes during after the baby dies in the utero? So there is aseptic degeneration of the dead fetus, that is macerated, and this there is peeling of the skin. This is dead baby. Epidermis is the first structure which is degenerated, and this blistering and peeling off of the skin 12 to 24 hours after fetal death. This is the peeling of the skin, and fetus is swollen and dusky red look. There is aseptic autolysis of the ligamentous structure, and there is liquefaction of the brain material and the other viscera. What are the causes? They are maternal, fetal, placental, iatrogenic and idiopathic. In maternal cases, there are infections, medical disorders. This is hypertension, diabetes, if they are uncontrolled. Severe anemia, there may be maternal infection like malaria, hepatitis, syphilis, influenza. There may be high fever, Epla syndrome, that is antiphospholipid antibody syndrome, thrombophilia. There may be abnormal labor which may be obstructed, or some dysfunctional labor. There may be post-term pregnancy, systemic lupus erythematosus and uterine rupture. In fetal causes, there may be chromosomal abnormality, there may be major structural abnormality, there is RH incompatibility, non-immune hydrops and growth restriction. Severely IUGR baby may die in utero. There may be placental causes, there may be APH, that is placenta previa and abruptio placentae, there may be cord accident, there may be prolapse, there may be knot or cord around neck which may get tightened around neck and baby may get died. There may be twin to twin transfusion syndrome and placental insufficiency. There is less oxygen supply and baby may die. There may be iatrogenic causes like extracephalic version which we do in the abnormal lie breech or the transverse lie. There may be drug overdose. There may be idiopathic causes where there are no causes in 20 to 30% cases. There are some risk factors, that is advanced maternal age. There may be race, African American race, smoking, diabetes, chronic hypertension. There may be ART. In ART cases, there are more because stress factor is more operating. There may be hypertension, there may be sugar, and there may lead to IUFD. Then obesity, nullipara, there is prior preterm birth, previous IUGR baby, and renal and the thyroid disease. So they are risk factors. In these cases, there are chances of IUFD. Then how will you diagnose a dead fetus? In symptoms, patient tells always that there was fetal movement previously, but now there are no fetal movements. And कहते हैं ना पेट नहीं बढ़ रहा है, that is retrogression of the positive pregnancy symptoms and the breast changes. On per abdominal examination, when we examine, there is gradual regression of the fundal height, uterine tone is diminished, there is absent of the fetal movement during palpation, there may be absent fetal heart sound and axial crackling feel of the fetal head. That is a feature of the late intrauterine fetal death. Sonography is essential for the accurate diagnosis of the IUFD, and by auscultation or the cardiotocography, they should not be done for the diagnosis when we are suspecting IUFD. Sonography should be confirmative. And if the mother reports sometimes after confirming the diagnosis in the sonography that the fetus is dead, so but still the patient complained that I am feeling fetal movement, so in these cases we have to go for second repeat scan to confirm, to satisfy the patient. And auscultation by the stethoscope or the Doppler ultrasound is not for the accurate diagnosis. And in sonography, what we see, there is absence of the fetal cardiac activity, the fetal movement, or the oligohydramnios or the collapsed cranial bones. And these arrows show gas in the great vessels, that is Roberts sign, and it may appear as early as 12 hours, and the peeling of the skin occur after 24 hours. And this is a Spalding sign. There is collapse of the fetal head skull with overlapping of the bones. You can see the overlapping of the bones, and hydrops or the maceration, which appear after 7 days after the death. There are other signs also, ball sign, that is hyperflexion of the spine and hyperextension of the neck, and helix sign, that is gas in the umbilical artery. There is crowding of the rib shadow with loss of the normal parallelism, and by all these changes the baby like a ball. How will you investigate? The aim is first to identify the cause of the IUFD and to assess the maternal well-being. So routine investigation, what we do for the investigation, the routine CBC, CRP for the infection, grouping, indirect Coombs test if the patient is RH negative, random blood sugar, HbA1c for the diabetes, for the control of the diabetes to see LFT, RFT, VDRL, thyroid and urine routine examination. Then we may go for the torch profile. In cases of, it may cause IUD also and abortion also, but not for the recurrent abortion. The vaginal swab culture sensitivity, then coagulation profile, because if the IUD fetus is retained in the uterus for a long 3 to 4 weeks, then there may be chances of the coagulation disturbances. So we do profile for the PT, INR, APTT, fibrinogen level, FDP, fibrin degradation product, DTCT and D-dimer test. We can do thrombophilia screening, and later fetal or the placental tissue for karyotyping can be done. In management, depends upon whether the fetus is single or the multiple, gestational age, what is the gestational age, and the patient and the parents' wish, and coagulation profile. Depending upon these factors, we can go for the expectant management or active management. In expected approach, when we go for expectant approach, 85% goes in labor spontaneously within 3 weeks of the diagnosis, and emotional burden or risk of the DIC in 10% cases there is if we go for expectant approach, because for 2 to 3 weeks to keep the baby dead fetus inside, so patient may have emotional upset, and there are also chances of the risk of the DIC. So or we can go for the active approach if the patient wants. Women should be offer a choice of the immediate induction or expectant management depending upon the wish of the woman, and test should be repeated twice weekly if we go for the expected management to rule out the DIC or the coagulation disturbance, and we can go for the induction of the labor. Thank you. Today's class is and we will go for next rest of the